have dementia, you have Alzheimer's, or you're having some incapacity issues, except you and your family. And it's cheaper. You know, you've already paid for your living trust, and so what happens is you've got a successor trustee, so the successor trustee just takes over. There's no need for any kind of court involvement at all. Now, a living trust, it's not, you know, it's a fallacy to think that if you have a living trust, then, you know, that's all you need to do. I don't want to mislead you, because people with living trusts have problems too. But there's a couple of things I want to tell you about that are very important about living trust. And even those people, I talk to people all the time. I was talking to some people today. I said, you know, I'm going to talk about living trusts, and they already got one. Well, I've got 3 living trusts on my desk right now where I'm in court. And these are people who already have a living trust. So even though you have a living trust, you know, it may not be a good living trust. So this, what I'm about to say, is very important. First of all, you have to make sure that your living trust is funded. What do I mean by that? Remember, I told you that living trust is like a basket. So what happens is you've got this nice agreement, and it says that, you know, my trustee, my successor trustee, has control over everything that's in this basket. Well, what happens is, I'm working on a case right now where the parents did their own living trust. They went to the library, they got a book, or they went on the internet, I don't know how they did it, but they got these printouts, and they prepared this beautiful living trust. It says that if something happens to me, I want everything to go to my wife. Something happens to my wife, I want my daughter to step in and be the trustee, and I want her to take over. Well, that's fine. It's a beautiful document. They had it notarized. They signed it. It's legal, but as that basket was empty. They didn't go down to the county recorder's office and put their house in the name of the trust. They didn't go down to Bank of America and change the accounts at Bank of America into the name of the trust. And so they've got this beautiful document, but nothing in it. So it's very important that if you have a living trust, that it's funded, that you get your assets transferred into the name of your trust. And also, it's very important that your trust is updated. What do I mean by that? I mean that if you have a new home, then make sure that you add that new home to your trust. Or if you change banks, people do it all the time. They get upset at Bank of America. They want to go to Wells Fargo or Fremont Bank. That's fine. But when they transfer, they go to the new bank, they forget to make that new bank account a trust account. And so now that asset's not in the trust. So you've got to keep your trust updated. Or sometimes the trustees, you know, people name their parent as trustee and the parent may die, so you have to make sure that you change that. Or a real big issue for seniors is that if you have a known illness, if all of a sudden you've been diagnosed with dementia or some disease that's going to be a chronic disease, and you know that it's going to get progressively worse, and you may need, or your spouse or loved one may need, some type of in-care, in-home support, or assisted living, or, you know, eventually maybe a nursing home, then you really need to have your trust looked at by an attorney to make sure that it's going to give you the flexibility that you need to do the planning to pay for that care, or you could find yourself broken in a nursing home. So you really need to have someone look at that if you're dealing with a known illness. And it happens all the time. People come in and, you know, somebody needs a nursing home, or they're in a nursing home, and they say, well, I got a living trust. And I've got, like I said, I've got 2 on my desk. I've got one living trust on my desk right now that was prepared, wasn't prepared by a lawyer, but it was prepared by someone, and it wasn't even signed properly. So So it's not even a proper document. And it doesn't give a successor trustee the powers that you need in order to help someone do long-term care processing. The other thing is that you want to get your trust updated because the tax laws changed. You know, the tax laws have changed this year where there was no estate tax. Next year there's going to be an estate tax, and that tax is going to be at the, last year it was 3.5 million. Next year it's going to be 1 million. So if you own a home and you have some other assets, then you could be in that category. So you really need to have someone take a look at your trust to make sure that it's updated. So it's important to do those two things. Make sure your trust is funded and make sure that it's up to date. Question comes up, if I have a living trust, do I need a will? And the answer is yes. Even though you have a living trust, you still need to have a will.